I'm here with Barbara Bladen Porter, longtime resident of San Miguel and legendary hostess as well. So tell us, Barbara, why did you move to San Miguel? Tell us the story how you got here.
Well, I was a journalist. I wrote a column a day for 40 years for the San Mateo Times. That's in California. And I was married to a wonderful man, Bill Porter. And one day he said to me, if you ever thought of retiring, now don't do it, don't do it, but if you just thought about it, okay? I said, oh, okay. And about 2 weeks later of thinking about it, I said, I'm going to retire. So I retired after 40 years with the San Mateo Times, writing a column 5 days a week. And then we started traveling and going places and doing things. And he said, where would you like us to live? I said, where do you want to live? He said, Paris. I said, oh, well, okay. So we went 2 weeks into Paris, and I said, this is not for me. I don't know the language. I don't really care, you know. So he said, well, you know, the time we came to visit in Mexico, there was that nice town called San Miguel de Allende. And let's go look at that again. And that's what brought us here. So we came here. We stayed in a hotel for about 2 weeks, and we started looking for houses.
How did your lifestyle change from the way it was in San Francisco when you moved to San Miguel?
It didn't change at all. I just didn't have to write 5 columns a week. That's what changed. I was free. I was a person who could make decisions and say to Bill, or Bill would say to me, would you like to go to South America? Yes. I mean, we could do anything we wanted because we were free.
Tell me about how different your life was, other than not working 5 days a week.
Oh, well, you make friends. I forget how we made friends, but I made friends. I make friends easily. And we had looked all around town, and when we saw this house, that was it. Boom.
And this house is on Soriano.
49 Soriano. I've been here 34 years.
And tell me, since you've been in San Miguel, you've been very active in social charities and in the artistic world. Tell us a little bit about your involvement with charities and music, etc.
Well, because I was working in the San Mateo Times every single day, doing interviews with movie stars and traveling all around wherever they sent me, wherever the studios sent me. I thought, well, this is a whole different world for Bill and I. We're making friends. It's a beautiful town. We can walk anywhere. You know, we feel free, and so we sort of adopted it as our town. By then, we had a lot of friends. And then when you have a friend and they say, you should join the so-and-so. Join this and join that. And I did because I wanted to be active.
And what were some of the first organizations and charities that you got involved with, and how did you get involved, and what did you do with, let's say, Patronato? Or
You meet a friend, and he says, you have time. Why don't you go to the meeting and see how you like it, and what kind of people are there, and you might want to join that. Well, one thing leads to another, and I ended up joining in about 5 different organizations. I was 22 years on the board of directors of the Chamber Music Festival. You meet a lot of people that way, And
and I think
in CASA.
Mhm.
I was on the board for 22 years with CASA.
And how did you get involved with CASA?
It was somebody who, Bill and I would go to their house for cocktails or something, and he said, I forget his name, and he said, I think that you would be a very prominent person, or important person with CASA. I said, okay, so I went, boom, they put me on the board. I was on the board for 22 years. I just recently got off.
Tell us a little bit more about the work of CASA and what the goal of that organization is.
Well, that's hard for me to do because there are many aspects to CASA. It's taking care of young people. And right now, or they've been doing it for some time, teaching sex education to young kids, and how to be charitable. Well, I would buy books. We'd go down to Mexico City, and I'd buy children's books and come back with a stack and give them to the little kids. There are many sections of CASA. And when they would have a charity event, I would donate a whole bunch of stuff, and I was very much a part. I'd go to every board meeting.
Did you ever have second thoughts about, you've moved full-time to San Miguel, did you ever have any thoughts about maybe I should return or go someplace else?
No, because I had so many friends who were so good to me after Bill died, and then you get over that. I just have very little patience for all of my girlfriends whose husbands have died, or their mother, or and they're carrying on. I said, get over it. Get over it. It's a wonderful life. Make new friends.
Well, you have had all kinds of both notoriety, let's say, for your style of dressing and your tales and adventures. Well, your love of clothing, you even opened a design store with clothing here.
Dan, I forgot all about that.
Well, tell us a little bit about how that came about and what the adventures were.
I just, because I love clothes. And so I opened this store. I had it for 8 years. Down on, do you know the street? Zacatecas. And then I made more friends, People would come and sell them things,
And you even went to India to buy fabrics, didn't you?
I bought fabrics wherever I went. I'm sorry that part of my life is over. I really enjoyed it. I'd go every day And Bill Porter said to me, I said, what do you think? He said, sweetie, you go and you enjoy, you meet people. I only ask one favor. Oh, he said, that you come home for lunch.
Did your clothing style change at all in Mexico? Or did you just...
I have 5 closets. And that one closet has a lot of Mexican. See, this is not Mexican, but like Mexican. Lots of embroidery and lots of pretty things.
There was a rather famous fashion show that you designed a rather infamous dress. Do you remember that one?
It was a charity event.
It was a charity event. Tell us about it.
Well, I wanted it to be special.
And do you recall the famous dress that you designed for that show that had people talking for years? Tell us about it.
I made a gown from here down to here out of condoms. It was a big success.
People are still talking about that.
Buy it? No, you can't buy it. Yeah, were you there? Did you ever see it?
I saw the dress, but not there at that
I was
event.
On a platform. Everybody was lower than me. You know, we had a walkway, and it caused quite a stir.
Another event that caused quite a stir that I seem to remember was when you were a member of the Garden Club. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that one?
This was the day the Garden Club was going to have its meeting, and they were going to feature vegetables. But anyway, somehow I got a hold of marijuana. I don't know how. But I made cookies with marijuana in it. And I got there a little late. The maid opened the door, and she said, "Oh, I'll take those, you know. Nice maid. I'll take those and put them on the table for when we had the
tea."
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, 3 ladies got really sick, not used to having marijuana. Now everybody has it. You have to ask, I have cookies in there with marijuana in them. But they were horrified. Horrified. One of them had to go to the hospital. The other one said, my husband will kill you. But there were 3 ladies who got sick from my marijuana cookies. And I said, and so I left. And that night or the next day, the president called me and she said, how dare you? How could you do such a thing? I said, well, it was green. Marijuana is greens. I mean, and the maid took it away. I would have told everybody. And she said, we don't want you in the club. I said, oh, great. I quit. And I quit the garden club, and I've never been back. I don't even know who belongs.
Barbara, in all your more than 30 years in San Miguel, there have been many changes. Can you describe the changes that you have seen here and how you have responded to these changes?
20 more restaurants than there used to be. And there's lots of lovely dress shops now, really stylish dress shops. And, hotels. Boing, boing, boing. Every time you turn around, there's a new hotel. I live here. I'll die here. Bill is out there at the cemetery, and I'm going out in the cemetery. I have a plaque that says, "A fun broad. Barbara Bladen Porter, a fun broad."
Well, thank you, Barbara. You have made us see your life here in a new way, and thank you for the time. Okay?
Thank you for being my friend for so many years. I'm sure there's a lot more.